Refugees who needed to flee their country, what are your stories? Not me personally, but my mom and her family had to flee Vietnam after the fall of Saigon. Only the privileged connected got to hop on the helicopters right away when the North invaded, like in that famous picture. It took my mother's family a week or two to finally make it out on an aircraft carrier. Apparently, the carrier was incredibly overcrowded with people. Refugees would sleep on the carrier packed side to side like sardines, and she can still remember the occasional splashes of people accidentally rolling being nudged off the edge into the sea. The carrier dumped everyone on the island of Guam. It acted as a sort of interim area before refugees were relocated to France, America, etc. My mother spent about a month there. The plan was originally to immigrate to France. I'm not sure if I recall correctly, but they had to go to their second choice, America, because there were too many Vietnamese who had already gone to France. They ended up living in a small town in Florida, out of fear of the colder climates up north. My mom went to college in the Northeast, met some white dude and married him, and now there's me. The end. My parents' story is probably too long, but here is the short story. They were supporting U.S. forces during the Vietnam War, and when the U.S. pulled out, they were left to hide in the jungle of Laos. The U.S. had opened up refugee camps in Thailand, so eventually they crossed the Mekong River by giving all their belongings to some Thai fishermen to get them across, tons of silver bars, jewelry, and clothes. The ones who were not lucky were unfortunately raped, mutilated, and killed. Unfortunately, Asians have this thing about grudges, so the genocide still happens on a daily basis for those who are still trapped in the emptiness of Laos jungles of Vietnam and etc. My parents have told me stories about families who tried to escape and someone steps on a landmine. Well, for the cause of the greater good. They had to leave the person behind and told them to wait till it was clear to let it detonate to give them time to escape. My dad tells me stories about how he had to carry his brother on his back through the emptiness barefoot for 12 hours at a time and etc. It can be some dark stuff, but I try to focus on the good stuff, that at least they were the lucky ones and I have an opportunity at life. I'm not a refugee, but all of the students on my school are either refugees or first-generation American citizens as children of refugees. They are either Hmong or Karen and come from Burma, Laos, Thailand, and Vietnam. Some stories. One girl has parents who were fleeing Burmese soldiers in the Burmese jungle. Her mother was pregnant with her and went into labor in the jungle while running for her life. I have my students write journal entries, and one was about the topic, describe a time when you felt fear. He went on and on about test anxiety and tacked on the fact that when he was in the camps, he didn't want to go to the bathroom because he was afraid of dying. Several of my female students have told me that when in the camps, they would tie their legs together before going to sleep. This was to help prevent rape. There have been so many times when students start telling me stories about the camps and then they are relating to each other. They seem so cavalier, almost like instead of describing the time their teacher broke a kid's leg for not cooperating, they were saying the kid had to stand in the corner. They don't seem to be terribly disturbed by their histories, but they are appalling to me. Once, I was walking around the classroom and helping various kids with their work. I happened to be carrying a ruler. One kid asked me if I was going to hit him with it. Thinking he was joking, I laughed a bit and said of course I wasn't. He and several other kids then told me that in Thailand, their teachers would punish them by forcing the students to hold their clenched fists out palm side down, and the teachers would smack their knuckles with the edge of the ruler, the metal edge.
If you have made it this far, comment green onion down below. Feel free to leave a like and comment and to subscribe and hit the bell button. See you all in the next video.